Hi, I'm Jane Marsilio from Cilio Music, and today I'm going to talk about why we should be excited about Easel by TpT. Why should I be excited about one more digital platform? I've already learned like 50 during distance learning. Well, if you plan on continuing using digital resources or technology in your centers, Easel might make your life a little bit easier, so I'm here to talk about what it is, what it does, how you can use it. One thing that's great about Easel is it was made for teachers by teachers, unlike Google Slides, which was made to give presentations, and that's it. But there are a couple other advantages, so I'll go through that in the presentation. Stick around for the end. I'll be doing a little giveaway of the digital stickers that I used, and also talking about some new features that are coming, and hope you enjoy. Thanks. Here we are in TpT, and one of the ways you can use Easel is to look for an Easel compatible activity. I'm searching for time signature resources, and this one pops up and you can see it says compatible with Easel. It means it's not an Easel activity, but you can turn it into one. So let's go in here, and I've had this up for a while, but I haven't turned it into an Easel activity yet. And if you were to purchase it and download it and open it up, let me pull it up here, you would see all 60 pages that were included. It starts off with some simple things, and then the rhythms get a little more difficult. Some of these you can't use digitally, like this is a spinner game and you would need to print this out and play this in person, but a lot of other worksheets you can convert these into a digital activity. So let's go ahead and do that. What we're going to do is go to Easel Activity and use as buyer, and this is where we're going to set up a digital layer over the worksheets. Okay, and we're going to open it up here, and the first thing we're going to do is edit pages because we probably don't want to assign all 65 pages. So let's edit these down, and I'm going to fast forward this, but you're going to click on all the pages you don't want and delete those. And now I'm going to hit remove. And if you wanted to, you can add more pages from that original PDF if you see one that you wanted to add again. You can also add from a different PDF. You can add from a PDF that you've made, gotten somewhere else. As long as it's on your computer, you can add it. But let's add a blank page just in case we want directions for the kids. So I'm going to move this from the last page to the first page and then click Save Changes. And now I have a blank page, and what you can do is just leave some directions. So I'm going to hit the text tool and say, complete these pages and turn in by Friday. You can also add as much clip art as you want. So I'm going to click on image. I am just going to add this smiley face. Let's get to making our activity. You can add an answer box here for their name and class. And then you can also highlight any important directions and change the color and thickness. All right, and then here are the questions, and you're going to add some answer boxes here. Anything you put an answer box over, it'll cover. So it's going to cover that dotted line. If you want, you can make that smaller. You can also click the select tool and just copy and paste the boxes into place. One thing I have noticed is that when I select a bunch and copy and paste them and I place them, when I go back to that page, they've all shifted a bit. So I found it safer to just move them one by one. They tend to stay in place a little better. For question number 8, you want to draw in the missing bar line. So you might want to add a little note. So let's go to the text tool and I'll say, use the pen tool to draw the bar line. Okay, and maybe I want to add a little arrow. One thing about this tool, once you've dropped the clip art in, you can crop it and rotate it before you upload it. And you have to do it beforehand because as of right now, you can't rotate it after you upload. So I'll upload that and make that a little smaller. Okay, here's a sheet where they're going to have to use the pen tool. So let's select the pen tool, and that's where they would draw in a note. I'm using a mouse right now, and I have heard that it's much easier to draw with a tablet with your finger. Another thing you can do is add clip art, and you can just have them add the notes as movable pieces. I'll add my notes in green because they'll stand out a little more and maybe catch their attention. You would want to add a variety of notes, and then you can leave a message here that says move these pieces to a box. And what you can do is copy and paste a bunch of them and just scatter them or stack them on top of each other. And then when the kids go to fill in the measure, they can just click and drag. The great thing about Easel is that when your kids see the movable pieces and handle them, they cannot delete them and they cannot resize them. That makes things a lot easier than Google Slides where things tend to disappear or get a little wonky. All right, and so we have that all completed, and let's view it as a student. By clicking up here, this is what the students will see. Complete these pages and turn them in by Friday. And they can type their name and class and fill in the blanks. In 4/4 time, how many beats are in a measure? 4. And then separate the bars by drawing the missing bar line. So this should also be up here. We're going to use the pen tool, thin, and we're going to draw the missing bar line right there. Okay, and the pages, they'll have to navigate down here, count the beats. Let's see, there are 2 beats here. So let's go to the text tool and put the number 2. Keep going. Meter matching. So this is where they'll take the pen tool or the highlighter tool, either one would work, and just draw a line. And here's where they make their own measure. So I'm going to use the pen tool, thin, and just draw my own notes. 3, 4. All right, keep going. And here we're going to either draw or click the select tool, move. Oh, you know what? I forgot to make these movable. So just select all of them and click movable. All right, and here let's just refresh it. It should now be movable. Yep. So you could do that, or you could have the kids draw it in. That is it. And then when they're done, they would turn it in, and you'll get an email every day, 1 email a day with all the assignments that have been turned in. Once the student turns it in, you can add notes and comments for the student. So let's see, I'll just add a little image if they did a great job. You can find digital stickers on TpT. There are a bunch of free ones, and I'm going to pick this one. It says Rockstar. Upload it, and when the kid gets their assignment back from you, they can see that they earned this digital sticker for doing a great job, and you can leave some notes. If you want them to redo the assignment, they can redo it and turn it back in as well. And I'll show you how to set up the assigning part of it, which is really easy. So I'll show you that in a few minutes. Okay, here we are back in TpT. This is how a TpT Easel activity would work. So I'm searching Apple Tree Rhythms, and as you can see, we have some PDFs that are compatible with Easel. We have some Google Slides, zip file. Let's keep going. I'm looking for, here it is, Easel Activity. So this is free, and I made this just for this tutorial. So if you click on this, you'll be able to use this right away. If you download the PDF, a lot of it's going to be blank because this was not originally a printable, and it is not for use as a printable. It is for use as an internet activity. So let's open it up and check it out. First, we have unscramble the pictures. The best thing about an Easel activity is that all the work is done for you. It'll save you time. You just open it up, delete whatever pages you don't want, and assign it. So this is a big time saver, especially if you're sorting through 63 pages and trying to figure out how to make this digital layer work for your students. This is just a page for reading the lyrics and clapping the rhythm. Then here, place the apples where they belong. So these are all movable pieces. This is just for reading. Drag and drop the notes. So you don't have to alter any of the instructions, which is great. And then we have some answer boxes here to create a verse 2. And that's the end. So the only thing you may want to do is add some pages, like add a blank page with instructions, or if you wanted to do the create a second verse thing as a whole class, you could project this for your whole class and go through it together, and then you can just keep adding more of those second verse ones, and you can go through as a class and do that multiple times. So let's save those changes and assign it. So this is how you would assign an Easel activity. This is the code that we have generated, and with Easel, there's no limit on the amount of students. Some of you might have 400 students, some of you might have 800. So if you wanted to create a new section and assign this for every different second grade class you have, you could do that. And so here's the section that we want this time, and what you would do is go to assign. And you can share this directly to your Google Classroom. It'll log you in, you just choose a class and go. Or you can just copy this link and email it to them, or post it on whatever platform that you'd like to post it. The only caveat right now is students will need to log in via their Gmail account. I think that might change in the future, but as of right now, they will need to use a Gmail account to complete this. So let's take this link. It's not going to work if you open it in the same browser because it knows that you're on a teacher TpT account. So what I'm going to do is open a second browser. Right now I'm using Google Chrome. So I'm going to open this in Edge. This is my access code. But I won't need that because I can always just click on the same link that was given originally. And then you would just do the same thing as you did with the Easel compatible activity. And this is a puzzle, so kids would actually have to move these pieces around to see the lyrics of the song. And then they would just read the lyrics, and go to the next page. This is just for reading. You could use a pointer on an Interwrite board and go through this, or use it over Zoom. All right, here's where the student would place the apples. I'm trying to resize this and I can't. Now I'll go to the eraser, can't delete it. So that's one great thing about Easel. All right, clap the rhythm. The directions say they can use the movable pieces or the pen tool. So whatever is more fun for them, they can use. This is where we create a second verse. Apple trees are so cool. We'll pretend like I filled in the rest of this and turn it in. Yes, I'm done. All right, and then, so I'm gonna minimize this edge window, and it's already letting me know that I've turned this in. So let's review the work that the student has done. Oh, they figured out the puzzle. Didn't finish this. Didn't finish that. All right, incomplete. So if we thought they did a great job anyway, you can give them another one of those digital stickers. Let's do You Rock. And you can leave some notes for them if you would like for them to redo the assignment, and then you can return it to student. So once you return it to the student, your student can see your feedback and resubmit the assignment for a better grade. You can also view your students' in-progress changes. Your student won't be notified that you returned the activity, so you might have to make that announcement in class. And then return it to student. So that is how you assign and review. And next I'll show you a hybrid of an activity that's Easel compatible and an Easel activity. This is an activity that's an Easel activity and a printable PDF. It'll let you know here on the side. This is a set of rhythm math worksheets that I've had for years, and I decided to make an Easel activity to go with this. So if you click preview, you'll see that it comes with a lot of pages, and a lot of these won't be usable online. These are center spinner games. You would definitely need to print those and play. Here's some charts. Here are the worksheets. And then here are some posters and flashcards. So you probably don't want to include those. If you download the PDF, you can use it as a printable, as has always been available, or you can use the Easel activity. So let's try it out. All right, so what I have done is I've edited the pages already. So that eliminates some work on your end. The only thing you would need to do is delete the pages that you don't want. There are 41 pages, but if you go through the PDF and already know what pages you want to include, you can just go through and delete the ones that you don't want. And if you don't want this highlighted, you can just delete that. I might remove that anyway. You can edit the pages. You can add a blank page. Another thing you can do is add from the original. So I didn't include the original hierarchy of notes, but you can add that to differentiate if you want your students to be able to use it as a reference tool. So it will bump it all the way to the back here. One thing that I was confused with at first, if you try to move it without clicking it, it won't budge. Just slowly plopping it along here. You probably won't have 41 pages to travel across, so this will be a lot faster for you. Okay, let's save changes, and as you can see, this is the new first page. So if they're having trouble, they can always go back and refer to the page when they're filling in the number of beats and all that. So let's view this as a student. So here's that first page. If some of this is getting cut off, you can also make that smaller and continue on. This is a half note with 2 beats. And they can move these over to the correct box. And here's some answer boxes to do some rhythm math. All right, there are a lot of these in various levels, depending on how far your students have gotten with their notes. This one, you would fill in the total number, which is 2. And then it says, if the pencils total 3 beats or more, color it yellow. So let's use the highlighter tool and color it yellow. And let's use thick. Of course, this would be wrong because it needs to be 3 beats or more. Let's keep going. More movable pieces here to complete the pie. Since the directions are small, you might want to highlight this just to make sure they see them. They can always zoom in. But since this was a modification made from the original PDF, it might be a bit small. Here's one where they color. If it's 4 beats, color the apple red. All right, and there are a bunch of other activities here. Oh, here's one, cut and glue. So what I've done, instead of cutting and gluing, I've made these all into movable pieces. So these are all individual pieces of clip art. So this is 3 beats and it would go here, 1 beat. So that's one workaround if you have something that requires cutting. So that is how you would be able to use a hybrid of the two, something that is also printable and created for Easel. All right, I hope that was helpful, and sound is coming. That's one big thing that I'm excited for. We will be able to upload sound into Easel soon. I can't tell you the exact date, but I know it'll be sometime this year, probably in the fall, maybe. Don't hold me to that. But another thing you can do that I hadn't talked about in the video is when you go to Easel, you can click on Create, and you can just like in Google Slides, you can create from a blank document. So that's another thing that I didn't highlight in the tutorial. Also, there's another tool in the Easel portal that I have not talked about, and it grades assignments for you. So that is called My Assessments. So it's set up like a Kahoot game. Those aren't for sale on TpT, but you can play around with it. If you're used to making Kahoots, you can test it out under the My Assessments tab. And the digital stickers that I used in the tutorial, I'll put a link in my handout. I'll make those free for the rest of the conference, so you can go and download those now and grab them in case you want to use them in the future. And check out the virtual exhibit hall, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.